You have inflated the issue of sex much beyond its worth. You have told the woman and also probably the man that sex is a very big and sensitive thing, you see. You know Phoolan Devi, right? I was just watching an interview. The interviewer asked her, what is your desire now? He said, God, make me a goat, a cow, an ant, anything in next life, but don't make me a woman. All my life, I never looked at anybody else. Now, I'm not suggesting that you go out and look at 20 other people. How does that become something so big? I would rather want to know how truthful has been your life. I would want to know how deep your submission to the truth has been. That's the measure of virtuosity. By turning something related to the reproductive process into something so big, you have inflated the issue of sex much beyond its worth. You have told the woman and also probably the man that sex is a very big and sensitive thing, you see. Now the entire life, the woman would be in some way giving sex disproportionate importance. And that disproportionate importance manifests itself as both submission and abstinence. Sex is such an important thing. And as a woman, it's my duty to provide this important favor to my Lord when He so desires. Because it is important. It is not only important, it is something governed by culture and rules and tradition, forces outside of me. So I don't really have agency there, you know. So when the Lord comes and says, disrobe, because such is my will, I will follow my Patni Dharma. How can a human being live freely if sex becomes such a big thing in the mind? How virtuous are you as a wife? That is determined by your sexual conduct. What nonsense. And by giving so much importance to sex, indirectly you have told her you are a body. And that is the entire purpose of the ego, no? Aham dehasmi, I am the body. You might be an idiot in all other ways. But if you have been sexually obedient, then you are considered virtuous. No? That's the entire claim to fame. You know, all my life I never looked at anybody else. Now, I'm not suggesting that you go out and look at 20 other people. But whether you do look at someone or you don't look at someone, how does that become something so big? I would rather want to know how truthful has been your life. Instead of your submission to your lords, I would want to know how deep your submission to the truth has been. That's the measure of virtuosity. But the Indian woman has been told, doesn't matter if you are illiterate, doesn't matter if you don't know a thing, doesn't matter if you can't even drive a scooty, doesn't matter even if you can't buy vegetables, doesn't matter if you do not know at all what's happening in the world, no idea of sciences, no hold on arts. Asked to draw something, the most you can draw is a blank. Nothing in your life. But still she claims to be pious and virtuous. The very image of goodness. Why? I never got into any sexual misconduct, whatever that means. I considered my husband as the Lord. Now I'll certainly be salvaged. You know Phoolan Devi, right? I was just watching an interview and there was something very poignant she said. The interviewer asked her, "What is your desire now?" She said, "God, make me a goat, a cow, an ant, anything in next life, but don't make me a woman."
आप अगले जन्म में क्या बनना चाहेंगी?
हम अगले जन्म में भले ही जानवर बन जाएं पर इस तरह की मतलब औरत नहीं बनना चाहेंगे.
And in the same interview she said, now that she got elected, right? She became a political representative, you know of that. She said, I feel ashamed when these people bring me papers and I can't read properly, but now I'm learning in great haste. And I want to be able to read everything and decide on my own and be a good representative. So there is consciousness. She could have been so much more. And given an opportunity, even at the fag end of her life, she was trying to be so much more in terms of reading, writing, understanding, talking, discussing, making policies, taking decisions. She was trying to be so much more. But in the initial part of her life, you know what happened to her, right? Raped repeatedly. Because that's how we look at women and we say this is our culture. And then to hide the very obscenity of it, we say we worship women as goddesses. So really? Had we really worshipped them as goddesses, we would have looked at them in such vulgar and sexual terms in all kinds of ways possible, including menstruation. And I'll return to the first thing I started with. Let nobody say that this is India. I love India. India is beautiful. And these idiots have no right to call themselves Indians. India must be reclaimed. If you are proud of being an Indian, then you have to understand the essence of India. You'll have to go back to the roots. And you'll have to give India her due. These are two things that are being repeatedly abused today: India and Sanatan. Whatever nonsense you want to peddle, you can do in the name of Bharat and Sanatan. And both these words need to be reclaimed. Because India is beautiful. and Sanatan is holy. And they have to be restored to their beautiful and holy places. Both these have been brought down. Both these have been abused. We cannot allow the abuse to continue. Yes.
Thank you so much, sir.